Can I get your attention, everybody? We get started. We got a lot of things to do this evening.
What?
Huh? Can you hear me?
Let's go.
We got a lot of things to do this evening. First of all, welcome everybody, and I'd like to recognize we have a new member, Chris Bailey. He just by finding out we're here, I think basically, didn't you say through the EARN project, has just brought in his membership papers and joined tonight. We have a couple of guests, Dina Garrett, right here. She's kind of heard about us through the same process and has showed some interest in what's going on. Joe, back here, he's been with us, visited a couple other meetings also. But you guys, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We've got several things to go through. First thing we don't want to set aside, everybody knows Augie here, our member, I think, one of our members. He's done some special footwork for us. And Bob, if you would explain kind of what he's done.
Okay. Are we on? Okay. So I won't say about use.
Yeah.
Augie applied for a grant for us to use for woodworking projects or to increase our visibility in the community as far as getting kids and stuff involved. And he wrote a grant 3 months ago.
Yeah.
About 3 months ago, and we were awarded a grant, and we received the check last week and I deposited it. So kind of along that lines, the treasurer's report that I put on everybody's table, the first page lists all of our expenditures for the year, and then at the bottom it shows two different additional things at the bottom. One is the EARN project. So many of the veterans associations have been giving us money for the purpose of buying the wood, the finishes, everything for the urns. So I'm tracking all those expenses separately, and that's what that page is. And the other page with the individual is the grant that Augie got for us. And it has restricted use also, so it can't just be used for everything. But Augie and I read the letter a while ago, and then we'll kind of give it the exec committee, and we'll figure out how we're going to spend that money and stuff. But I want to thank Augie for all his hard work. And now that we've got our foot in the door, as long as we spend it correctly, hopefully we'll get more next year.
Yeah.
So definitely a big thing.
Appreciate Bob keeping track of all that for us too. Keep us in order.
Keep us out of jail.
Yeah. Other thing is, there's been some a little not controversy, but we're having the auction for the donated equipment that is was given to us. The auction is actually going to be held this Sunday at Ron Sander Auction House in Greenview, Illinois. So that's 12 miles north of Springfield here. The auction is from noon, starts at noon, and that's on Sunday the 7th.
And it's in person.
In person, yeah, it's not online, it's a live auction. He did get apparently another estate auction to go in with it, so there's going to be multiple things there, not just our stuff. So hopefully there's a good crowd for that. If you want to view any of the items before the auction Saturday, this Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m., you can go there and take a walk through and view the items. But otherwise, to be there at noon, I have no idea what order they're going to auction things off. That's always a big question with these anyway. But, so that is taking place this Sunday.
He hasn't listed it or advertised it at all.
No, he was going to, but I have not been able to get any of that out. He's been rather difficult to reach out and get answers from, but he did contact me today because I bugged him several times to confirm the time is Sunday and the viewing is Saturday. So bring your trailer and your checkbook, I guess.
Like an unadvertised
Bring your
auction.
money.
Yeah. It could be he's advertising it up there through the community there. I don't know. I'd be surprised. I don't think he's done any auctions for a long time. He's had some health issues, and I think he's either just getting back into it or I don't really know the situation, but hope for the best for there. We have what's that? Yeah.
As far as terms of payment, they only accept cash or personal check.
Okay, they don't take cards? Okay,
Oh, wow.
all right, that's good to know.
And you gotta carry it home with you, right?
You have to take it, they will give you a couple of days to arrange for transport. You don't have to take it that day.
Okay.
The big item like table saw.
You got more out of them than I did.
I was calling to find out what the terms of payment were.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I didn't know. He may have said that early on, but it's been so long ago that we actually talked to him. First of all, on the list, just briefly, we did do the board meeting at the Lincoln Land College. We had a good turnout. I think there were like 20, 21 people there, board members and members. There are just a few pictures here of the room. There's not really any specific pictures. I just threw a few on here that just kind of shows the magnitude of everything. These garage doors on the side are all classrooms. This is a shop area. I think there must be 3 or 4 classrooms there along the side. But they've done an amazing job putting it together.
What building is that in?
Sangamon building?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In the basement of it.
Oh, yeah, they just remodeled it.
It used
Yeah.
to be the auto technology that helped back in the 70s and 80s that helped the world.
Here, again, just another picture. This is basically the group of guys that was there.
Arms one on, get that.
Where's he at?
Hey, can I interrupt?
Yep.
Bob asked me to say something about this. I try to write down as much as I can about our meetings and stuff, but I'm so busy writing, I don't get a chance to take a picture. We kind of need somebody in the club to take photos.
Good photos.
It doesn't have to be the same person every week or every event, but we kind of need like a guild photographer, you know? Somebody that can, you know, is comfortable with their phone or whatever to take pictures of all and anything that we'd like to take pictures of. And this reminded me of it because photos, as you know, are worth 1,000 words, and it can be those photos can be reshown and distributed and so forth. So, but just food for thought, just something to put out there.
Any questions so far? That's really it for the pictures. This is their storeroom, their tool room, and it's quite impressive. The array of equipment and machines they have out there. They've really done a lot. I think Bob will get into more of where we stand with that here in a little bit. We did, Bob Cox kind of brought this up for us to do the box build and swap, which is several people have brought boxes that we made, and we'll do a drawing here later on after Frank's presentation. And but if you haven't had a chance to look at them, walk back and take a look. Bob Cox, you want to say what you take your time right now?
Yeah, I have a few things. So one, I've been planing a lot of stuff lately, and my planer knives get sharpened. So I looked around for a guy to sharpen it. I found a guy that's out of Chatham. Maybe you guys know
Mike
him.
over here, he is really good.
Sharpening planer blades?
This guy has been doing it about 5 years. Actually lives sort of across with Glenwood High School. He sharpened. I dropped him off my planer blades on Friday. He called me on Sunday and said they're done. Come get them. So I got cards for him if anybody's interested.
Yeah, he's
David
intending
goes
on,
in.
he lives in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's sharpened several things for me. He intends on
Yeah.
coming to a meeting eventually, but he's a busy guy.
He sharpens a lot of stuff, so.
Chisels and things like that too?
Knives and woodworking tools and meat slicer blades and yard tools, whatever.
There's a bit of a conflict because he told me he does not sharpen plane blades, but apparently he does.
What he does is I have 3 razor sharp plane blades.
Okay.
Does he
Anyway.
do saw blades?
He does not do saw blades. He said he can't compete with the big companies, the mailing places. So.
No, I- You know, there was supposed to be somebody in Pawnee thinking about, there was talk at a meeting, somebody here to do that.
I said that, and that went nowhere, so disregard.
My favorite is W.D. Quinn down in San Luis.
Oh, yeah.
They're awesome.
I've used them just this last time, first time ever.
Anyway, so if you need something sharpening your card, I have that. I want to thank, first of all, I need to thank my wife. She's not here, but she spent several hours last week on the receiving end of hundreds and hundreds of board feet, of linear board feet, of lumber coming out of my planer shaper for the urn project. So I want to get an update on that. And she learned how to empty and replace the bag in my dust collector 12 times in 3 days.
Wow.
So you married a guy?
You will. I know. I probably have right now 300 or 400 pounds of sawdust bagged up.
It worked really good last time for my, around all my plants, along the side of my fences and stuff. They,
I want to come get it. It's got long in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want it long. I want to thank Bob Booth. I took him some 1/8-inch oak, and he made plaques, a lot of plaques. I don't know if you're here for the urn project. All right, so thank you, Bob, for lasering all those. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, let me catch you up on the project, the urn project. So, a few weeks ago, we got a bunch of donated lumber from Ben and Ralph. And so over the last few weeks, I have taken all that rough stuff and I've cut it up into parts. I cut up 240 parts to make more urns, plus another 120 feet, the feet, not linear feet, the feet. And so I'm ready to work. And so I kind of got myself in a jam today because I got commissioned to build a piece of furniture, but I've tied up 3 of my pieces of equipment that are all set up and ready to run parts for the urns through, and I don't want to tear them down and reset them up. I've got a table saw set up with the dado head for grooves for the sides of the urn. I went out and bought an extra router table, so I could have a router table, one for over, one for the chamfer. And I bought John because he fought my 18-gauge brad and I bought him a new one, so he will not complain about that. So anyway, I'm just kidding. So anyway, what I'm hoping to do is this. I thought I got ready sooner than I thought I would be, and as of 4 o'clock today, I'm ready for a work day. I'm thinking Friday from 9 to about noon. I don't care if we get done. That's not my goal. My goal that day is to get the milling done so I can tear down my equipment and use it for the next project. And I can set those aside, they can set for a week. If we get a bunch put together, that's fine too. But there's still a lot of work to do after the milling. If we don't want to do a work day on Saturday, because I know that's pretty quick, I could do all the milling tomorrow. It's no big deal. I can just spend the day out there, I'll get all the parts milled, and then I can tear stuff down, because then we'll be ready for sanding and gluing and nailing, and there's still lots of work to do for those of you that did it before. So, is there anybody that would be interested in coming on Friday from 9 to noon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
I can come tomorrow, but I can't come Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, I can't come Friday.
2724 Hilltop Road. So I'm on the, you know where JCPenney is on South Grand and Berkshire? Yeah. Take 29 out like you're going to Rochester. The first light you come to, which is 3/4 of a mile, turn a right there. Sorry, it's 1 3/4 down to the light. Make a right there at the Hilltop Convenience Store, and I'm a half mile down on the road, on the left-hand side. 2724 Hilltop. So I can give you my number if you want, or if you just need my address, or a lot of you've been there before. Or, reach out to me. So Saturday morning, 9 o'clock?
Friday or
Saturday.
Saturday?
Sorry. Friday. Friday morning, 9 o'clock?
Okay.
But I'll try to be there.
Got, okay. We just, whatever we get done, we get done. What we don't, we'll leave till the next week. That matters not to me. So appreciate that. The boxes are really cool, thank you for bringing those. And then the last thing I have,
Springfield or Rochester?
it's a Springfield address, but it's not in Springfield, or it is in Rochester. It's in the county. How many of you make cutting boards? How many have made end grain cutting boards?
I made the other ones.
But end grain are the coolest, right?
Right.
But they're also the most work. Well, I'll pass this around. This is an end grain coaster. And it, being so thin, it presents some challenges. Okay, so I just thought it was cool. I just bring it around one day. So.
Can it be broken?
Oh, yeah. When I was sanding it, I went to pick it up to move it, and I thought, well, that's weird. It kind of bent in my hand. The heat from the sandpaper softened the glue enough that it moved a little, so I had to lay it back down flat and press it till it cooled off.
What would a cup of coffee do?
What's that?
What would a cup of coffee do?
Nothing.
Not
I
now.
don't think so. My wife uses hers every single day, so anyway, I'll just pass that on. So, and then the last thing I'll just say about the boxes, so, I don't know how you guys want to do this at the end, but at some point, I think each guy might want to spend a minute talking about anything.
But we'll do that after the presentation. We'll take a time and then we'll.
Thank you.
Oh, let me say one more thing.
Yep.
John and a friend of his, or an acquaintance of his, also donated some lumber to me last week, but it did not get caught up in my run of getting it all planed out, so it's all rough sawn. But thank you for that, and I will get that told up. Thank you. Try to do next month. The guy gave you those 3 old folders. Oh, yeah. Jay.
I'm done if you want to do anything here before we start.
Jay, what's his name? Jay
Williams.
Jay Williams. Jay Williams. It's got it.
Oh, Jay Williams is, just FYI, Jay Williams has his own log wood company down in the Pawnee area, and he wants to contribute material on a consistent basis. He kept handing me stuff we couldn't really use, really thick.
Yeah, 8-quarter stuff.
Yeah. And so anyway, I just want to recognize him. He gave us some hope, and he wants to give more in the future. So anyway, Jay Williams, I'll get his contact info and this note.
Okay, since you would woodworker, would he be interested in the club, or is that beyond?
I don't been personally. I keep going through another friend of mine, mutual friend, but I know he's really busy.
Okay. I want to think we had a really great walkthrough last week at Lincoln Land, and we had, I want to say, over 20 people there. It was pretty awesome. Chris Evans, when I first met with him, he wanted to meet us. And that was one of his plans, to actually give us a chance to go through his new workspace. Of course, they call it a lab, but he was very impressed that we had so many people there. And it was nice to see it so well organized. Where we're at right now, we can meet there whenever we want. We can also do our Saturday outside speakers there, so we're allowed to do that right now. We'll be bringing in Gary Strickler, October 23rd and 24th. It has changed for the better. And one thing I asked is that Chris and Gary talk to each other in terms of getting this program set up. And Gary found out that there's going to be a lot more classes going on with different students during the week at the lab space there in the new area. And so Gary Strickler loves to teach. That's one of his passions. He's very good at it. And so what he's offered to do is to come in Wednesday night, and then he's going to have 4 separate classes on Thursday and Friday. So the Thursday and Friday AM will be for the college students. It'll probably go from 8:30 to 11:30. He's going to talk about trim carpentry, putting in crown molding, baseboards, hanging doors, all the time he has. That's what he's gonna focus on. In the afternoon will be the high school students from Landfair, Capital Area, Career Center, and I think Pleasant Plains. And those will be in the afternoon, probably an hour and a half with it. But for us to attend, it's free. We're more than welcome to attend. It'll be the 23rd to 24th. And it should be a good opportunity with it. One thing I'd like to gauge from those of you who attended, and then Dave's going to take notes, what did you like about going there? You know, what features of it really impressed you? If we can kind of let me know how I'd like to find out really your comfort level about our tour of Lincoln Land. What your thoughts are. Go ahead, Ted.
Well, the tools being brand new Powermatic tools and saw stop,
Yeah.
you know, so, you know, top line tools.
Yeah.
That and the cleanliness was just amazing. Everything was, you know, just display room clean.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All we needed was a little sawdust.
Yeah.
I have that.
Volunteer?
Yeah, Dave.
So for scheduling, you say we can have our meetings there whenever we want, but that's not true in the sense of, because they have ongoing classes there.
I think what we have to find out is where are they gonna put us there right now?
Yeah, because as you saw in the pictures, there's the great room with all the tools,
Yeah.
and then off to the side, sealed off, are basically classrooms with high-end audio, video,
Mhm.
chairs, seats, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just gotta find a way to fit in there.
We're gonna have to find out what his plan is, where are they gonna put us for meetings? With it.
Okay, plus, I sent a note to Chris. A couple of us are gonna meet with him about having our type of audio video
Yeah.
equipment and setting up a place for us.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so my initial feeling is that since we alternate our meetings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that, and the way they have their schedule set for each semester, we might be limited to one night a week. That works out best for them, that they would not have, instead of having 3 classes at night, they will only have 2, and then there might be a classroom open for us. So that might be one of the issues we might face with this. That way we can be put into a dedicated classroom with it. When Chris took the time, and I was really taken by it, he actually set up the chairs for us outside in the lab space. It is kind of echoey with it, and the hearing was a bit of a challenge with it. So I would like to sit down with them as we progress with them and see if we can get an actual classroom set up for us. Because as we walked by during the tour, classes were going on, we were talking, and you could tell the students couldn't hear us at all. So the rooms appear to be pretty well soundproof with it. But I'd like to find out if we have our own space like that. One thing we can do though, if we bring our own tools, we can actually do demonstrations in that area where the tools are. That's my understanding right now. So as we bring in Festool next month or Freud in November, there might be an option to maybe to do those 2 meetings there because they can do a lot more work with the tools. You know, a lot more aggressive work with it than as opposed to here at MCL, even though we can use some tools here at MCL. So, but that's one thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on is, are we going to be limited to one night a week? And if so, how do we want to handle that with this for our meetings? So in terms of using their tools, what Chris has done, he had to put together some documents and they were sent up to the higher ups and obviously legal. And what he's working on is that maybe a Saturday that we can be allowed to go in there. The first time there will be a cost to it. It would be considered a class, if you will. Then after that, it wouldn't be a class with it, but he's going to have to get more details to me on that with it. Probably during the week, I don't think it's going to happen of us using the tools at will, because they have a full schedule during the day and they have a full schedule at night with it. I think the only open time is maybe between like maybe 4 and 6, because they're fairly busy. They have a lot of programs going on there, so. What do you guys feel would be some concerns? I know one thing I've been working on with Chris, and Terry's gonna advance it for me, is the AV setup with it. Is there anything else that gives you pause to this, going out there, any concerns?
We're gonna be at least to do as much as, not more than what we're doing here.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have more options to do demonstrations there. And obviously, we have to clean up the sawdust, but that's no big deal with it.
Did anybody have any issues with parking or getting to the
No.
door?
Okay.
They were very gracious
Yeah.
with us about the shuttle and so on and so forth, but parking was my concern.
Yeah.
No, and your instructions were excellent. I appreciate the detail in the emails. It's great parking.
Yeah. Their police they were excellent to work with. I met with them like a few weeks before the walkthrough, and their police department was very well forthcoming and offered all this stuff. Having the shuttle ready, and for those people who wanted to park close, they gave us an option to park at the bottom of the drive. So it worked out very well. They were very nice with it. One thing though that I did pick up, that they're looking for some more, I guess, areas we can partner with them. They desperately need more instructors there. And so if somebody wants to become an instructor at Lincoln Land, and I know on your email to Chris, Terry, you put in there, what do you have to do to become an instructor there? That might be an option, that we could further partner there. The other thing that I didn't realize, there used to be some kind of a connection with Habitat for Humanity, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside. And one of Chris Evans' hot buttons that night was put me on the board, and he asked Don about that. So I think that would be something that if we could work with Habitat to find out how we can get Chris Edmonds on the board of directors, that would be great.
On our board or Habitat?
Habitat.
Yeah.
So that's something, that was, to
Well,
me,
Habitat has ready access to materials, but he said, well, we've got people, we've got people that can work. We got people that would be willing to volunteer.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a match made in heaven, really.
Yeah. So, but as we develop this partnership, we might get more openings then, and maybe get more time to use your tools. I think the only thing that really stands in the way is there's going to be a lot of students going through the program there, and it's going to be expanded. So that would be the only issue with it then. So.
That's good news.
Yeah, it is. So, this has been a really good relationship with it. And I think after we bring in Gary Strickler, that should go well. We're bringing in Michael Fish, number 1st and 2nd, and I'm waiting for Mike to call me to find out what he wants to do in that second day. These are great opportunities with that. It's a great area. So. Any questions for me? Any concerns?
The only one I have, Bob, and I think it's something we gotta pursue, so don't take it that way, but if this semester they have Tuesdays available, will they have Tuesdays forever, or are we gonna have to, you know what I mean, on the meeting? So I just think that's something we gotta look at and make sure, because we don't wanna give up this space and then come back 3 months later and go, oh, we need it back.
Yeah.
So.
One thing we need to do with them, and Chris has been busy getting this whole lab space set up. They've gone through a massive renovation. And I think one thing we haven't had time to do, and he's given me some time, is meet with them and, what are the guardrails for us? What are your expectations of us, and what are the rules we need to follow? And we don't know that right now. We're going to need at some point before we sit down with them and tell us what we can do, what we shouldn't do with it. Because we want to be good stewards with them. But I think it looks pretty promising right now, Dave.
Can I take a quick survey? Some people in the club are not crazy about the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every 3 months adjustment. Others are good with it because if you're bowling every Tuesday night, and we have a meeting on Tuesday night, you miss all the meetings, or you make a choice. Is there anybody, could I see a raise of hands of who's always busy on Monday night and won't be able to make this meeting? How about Tuesday night? And how about Wednesday night? Okay. Can I see a show of hands, or who would like to keep, if we can, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday schedule that we've had for 34 years? 5, 6, 7, I forget now.
Yeah.
37. And who would like to see one night a week, be it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Thursday? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
My dad used to be a scoutmaster. And the scout meetings were the third Tuesday of the month. And if he ever tried to change that date, all hell would break loose because everybody had set the third Tuesday of the month aside and they had worked around it. And to make other changes, at least half of the parents would have a conflict.
Well, we'll have to see what Lincoln Land has to say, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we really have to sit down with them and work out the details of this. I'll be upfront with you.
Hey, Bob?
Yeah, Ralph.
Does it look like we could utilize the school, the facility out there, like on special occasions for having, like when we had, they came a couple, 3 years ago, and we had a big day on Saturday, and utilize that on when we have special speakers come in, demonstrators, and retain this spot for our monthly meetings.
They are very open to Saturdays.
Yeah.
Because there's no classes going on.
They got classes on Saturdays?
They do not, is my understanding, and
Fridays are usually good too.
Friday, yeah. But Chris is very open to Saturdays, except when we bring a speaker in, he wants it for his students, then it'll be he'll pick the days, like he did with Gary Strigler. But for us to bring in Michael Fortune, it has to be a Saturday, Sunday with it. So those, if we give enough notice, because I talked to Chris about this in April and he committed on the spot, that was several months out. So I think if we could lock in a Saturday speaker, an outside speaker, 6 months out, then there shouldn't be any issues with it.
And I think what I'm getting is obviously Lincoln Land is of great value to us in being able to use their facilities and so forth.
Yeah.
But they see us as a value with their students, and apparently not just college students, but high school students.
Yeah.
So, like you said, coordinating ahead of time for the sake of being, picking a day, sticking with it,
Yeah.
and not just be us, but students and so forth.
Yeah. I
Yes.
think there's going to be opportunities we haven't uncovered right now when we start meeting with them. And that might be another option too, kind of keep that in your back pocket. As you work with these people, they might say, well, you can come in now this time or that time. And I think they have to have a comfort level with this. They have a good comfort level, but you can certainly move that up. Yeah, so, okay. Frank, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're going to talk about
I'm talking about a workbench project that I got to do back in 2019.
and you went all the way to Georgia to learn this.
I went all the way to Georgia, that's right. A whole bunch of Midwesterners, though, also ended up out in Georgia to do this particular project.
Could you slide over?
Well, I'm not to the slides yet.
No, but it's on you.
Back in 1782, I believe it was, we sent our first ambassador to France, and that was Thomas Jefferson. And he began a relationship with a young lady that was there in France that lived in Versailles in the palace. And when he returned back home, he sent acorns over to her from his trees at Monticello. She planted those trees, and those trees 240 years later were ready to be taken down because they were too old. And that produced a large amount of most of those were used for various different projects, but there were a handful of them that were imported to the United States. And with those that were imported to the United States, there's been 60 workbenches that have been made out of that wood that came from it. And I have one of those 60 workbenches. The reality is that this project will probably never have its fourth, this was the third reincarnation of it, it will probably never have a fourth reincarnation because they used some of the Jeffersonian oaks to rebuild what's called the forest in the Notre Dame Cathedral. And that pretty much used up the extent of those oaks that had been sent over from the United States. And so I'm going to be kind of quickly going through, if you see on here, it's Rehmann. That's actually the old German spelling. That's actually my professional when I do woodworking. jigsaw. It's not a sawzall, it's actually a jigsaw.
Okay.
It's a jigsaw bit right up here, it's a T-head, with a 0 advancement on it, so that it's cutting straight up and down. Because then what that allows me to do is that allows me to come in and just barely tap that line. And since it's straight up and down, now I have a straight up and down reference that I can use as I'm chiseling things down. Once that line's gone, I know I've done exactly what I needed to do. I've removed just the right amount of material. Don't cut yourself on this, so yeah, don't.